Eamon O'Carroll, you've had time to reflect and review that performance against York. Have you picked up any encouraging signs from what you witnessed on Sunday?
Oh look, obviously very disappointed in the end result. I thought we started the game extremely well. Dominant. More importantly, sticking to a game plan and showed some patience, and then ended up scoring off the back of that over a period of time. We knew it was going to be a difficult game, a dangerous game against York, and they were going to need to be broken down. It wasn't just going to be a case of us scoring on our first set of 6, so I was really happy with that. But then on the flip side of that, extremely disappointed in how we reacted after that. I think it was clear to see we looked a bit of a different team out there. We lacked some connection, certainly in our attack. So it's been a good lesson for us to learn.
You mentioned after the game that it would be a valuable lesson learned. Is that still what you're feeling in that, that the kind of the players went away from the game plan, that's the lesson that they have learned from that defeat?
Yeah, I think it has to be a lesson. We work extremely hard, we prep really well, and the players take charge of that. So it's trusting in doing that. I think we've had a good example. I'll include our round 1 game against Wakefield. We stuck to a plan. I know the result didn't happen for us, but what we've been doing is staying really connected and trusting in what we practice. And not only that, when teams have a say, being really resilient, which I don't think we weren't up to our standard with that, which is really disappointing. The players are disappointed in that. So it's a lesson, but it has to be. We know that we can't go out like that again. If we go down doing what we practice, and we stick together, and then we can look at that.
You praise the individual effort of the players. Is there any frustrations that we didn't see that connected team effort for the full 80 minutes?
Yeah, absolutely. It's really disappointing because it's something that we've done well for the last 4 weeks. I think it's something that we've been striving for during our pre-season when we've come, and that doesn't mean it's out the window now. We just have to get back to it. We've learned a harsh lesson. We lost a game against a quality team. I said that during the week. They're a dangerous team. The quality and where they're currently sat at the table isn't a reflection of them. And they went out and proved that. They certainly played their part in that game. They put us under pressure, and we didn't handle it.
I spoke to a couple of players after the game, and they certainly felt to myself that there was genuine disappointment amongst those players that I spoke to, that the performance certainly didn't match the hard work in training. Have you picked that sort of self-appraisal and reflection from the players this week?
Yeah, absolutely. I could see that after the game straight away. We're not too emotional after the game. We kind of put it to bed as quickly as we can, and take a breath. I think that's important. Although we're very disappointed, but I could see that in them. I could see it on the bus on the way home, and I saw it Tuesday even more so when we showed some vision. So I think it was hard to remember how well we kind of started, but I think that magnified the times where we weren't good. So again, I'm repeating myself, but a very good lesson for us to learn, and one that we can't afford to do again.
It certainly felt like it was one of the highest error counts of the season. Sunday gone, is that an area that you've worked on this week?
It's something we work on all the time. We don't just be reactive and go, we made loads of errors, so we'll work on that. We have high standards when we train, and we expect to be better than that. That's something that the group actually brought up themselves, which was pleasing. But again, I think that comes from that lack of connection when we're under the pump a little bit and under pressure. Sticking to what we practice and picking the right option. What we had was little bursts of individual effort trying to fix it by themselves, and we probably sat back as a group and kind of waited for that to kind of unfold, and you can't do that when you're in top end games.
You mentioned obviously Dan Smith and the calmness and obviously experience he brings. He was obviously a huge loss with his calf complaint, which I think he said he felt twinge during warm-up. What's the latest with Dan Smith?
Yeah, unfortunately, Smiggy's going to be out for a little period. We're not sure how long. We're hoping it's not too long term. But yeah, it was disappointing to lose him. I mentioned during the last couple of weeks how important he's been for us. I think Jordan and JD have been going really well, but he's played a huge part in that. So we certainly missed him. I think you could see that. But again, no excuse. We've got a squad that's capable. So the next man that steps up, plays his part. And just on Elliot, I thought he did that. I thought he's been frustrated, and his preparation. Obviously, you prepare the best you can as an 18th man, but he's done that for the last couple of weeks and not got a game. And I thought he went out there and did his best.
There were a couple of other knocks and niggles. Obviously, Chester Butler had to leave early in the second half. Have you had a chance to review that injury?
Yeah, it's a painful one for Chester. It's not too serious, but yeah, again he's gonna miss a period, so that's disappointing. I thought, over the last few games he's really stood up. Chazzy, I thought he's been playing really well. He's been physical and dominant in everything that he does. So I'm really disappointed for him. I think he was headed in the right direction. So and seemed to be getting better week on week. So again, a huge loss, but someone else gets an opportunity now.
How long are you expecting Chester to be out for?
It could be a month to 6 weeks. So again, it's going to be one of them that kind of how quickly he settles and how quickly we can progress his rehab.
Obviously, Zach Fulton left the field with a HIA. You said after the game, he's in that doubtful bracket. What's the latest with him?
Yeah, he won't play. He's going through his protocol now, which he's up and he's all right, which is good, but quite a nasty head collision there, so a bit of friendly fire I think from JD.
Just when you feel like the injuries are coming down, you hit with all this fresh adversity. It just never seems to stop, does it?
No, well that's the game. We won't. I certainly won't be feeling sorry for myself, and the group won't either. Again, with that comes opportunity. So no, look, we'll go with what we've got, and everyone will be prepped and ready to go and ready to respond.
Tom Holmes has been very cryptic on social media with the egg timer and back soon. Just how far off is Tom Holmes, Eamon?
Yeah, Tom will be in the squad this week, which is really pleasing. I'm so happy for him. He's for what he's kind of been through. I've obviously not had the opportunity to coach him in terms of him playing yet, but you can just see his influence around the group, how important he is. He's a real leader. So when you've got people like Bruno and Dan Smith out, to be able to have him around the environment a bit more and possibly play is huge. So I'm looking forward to hopefully announcing him. He's highly likely that he'll play and he's ready to go.
In terms of obviously Tom Holmes, for everything that he's gone through, this must be like Christmas week for him.
Yeah. When I spoke to him, he was obviously really happy. I think he's been chomping at the bit for some time now. We did have a plan in place for him, but he looks fit, he looks strong, and his quality is, you see it's magnified when you see him in training, his quality of skill. So it's obviously clear he's a really well-liked member of the group. Everyone loves him, so he's added real quality to our training sessions. And
that just alone is going to give everybody a huge boost and a huge lift around the club. Yeah,
it will, but I just love what Tom's about. He's just really humble. When I'm speaking to him, he says, "Oh no, it's just business as usual." So it's huge. I've not known him for a long time, but I'm really happy for him that he's in that position now to be able to train with us and put himself up for selection. So I know how close he is to everyone in the group, so that will have a feel-good factor for everyone, and rightly so.
Is there any other players back this weekend? Have you had to go in the loan market, obviously with those fresh injury concerns?
Yeah, we have. So we're lucky we get Jaden Myers back, which I think is going to be a big boost for us. I'm really happy for Jaden. It looked like it could have been a nasty one, but to get him back, he'll just give us some energy and enthusiasm and do what he does really well. So looking forward to having him back, and Evan Scurry is now up for selection, which again will be a huge boost. So you end up getting you lose a couple, you lose 4 or 5, but we get 1 or 2 back. So that's what we're focusing on, who's available, and making sure that we put the work into the lads that aren't, so when they're ready to go they'll be backfiring, and hopefully we'll get some competition for places. We've also gone to the loan market as well. We've got Jacob Douglas from Wigan, which we really appreciate their help at this stage of the year. We are obviously doing it tough in the outside backs, so he'll be a welcomed addition.
Obviously, you just mentioned Douglas from Wigan. If he's anything like Harvey Wilson, who's come and really invested in the playing group and everything about the Bradford Bulls, then he's going to be a promising addition. Yeah,
and he will be. I'm confident in that. He's everyone you get out of Wigan is quality in terms of the person and the professionalism. So I'm more than confident on that. I've had some good feedback on him, and I've watched some of his games as well. So he's got great energy, lightning quick, and looks like a smart kid as well. So like I said before, he'll be a welcome addition, and we're really grateful to Wigan for allowing one of their players out to play with us.
Just on the Corey Johnson situation, that seems to have gone a little bit quiet, and what's the latest with that? Is he still eventually going to come back here when he's past fit at Leeds, or is he remaining at Leeds?
Yeah, that's a bit of a tricky one at the minute. We're in conversation with Leeds. Obviously, we're supporting them in the protocol that Corey's having to go through. So once he's back fit for selection, that's something that we'll look at.
Widnes, they've had a very strong start to the season. They're the visitors here at Barcard on Sunday. What do you make of them?
High quality team. Certainly not surprised to their start of the year. You know, got real quality in there and did a job on us last time here in the Cup. So we're gonna have to be at our best.
And obviously, you mentioned the Cup game, and it was around 7 weeks ago that they come here and knocked Bradford out. Does that game have any bearings on Sunday? Can you review that game, that performance, and potentially turn the result around in your favour this weekend?
Well, I think we've got our own reasons as to why. Not just because they beat us in a cup. We've got our own reasons why we want to go out there and perform. I've certainly had a look at that last game, but I feel that both teams are probably in a different spot to where they were 7 weeks ago. So, in terms of their quality, it doesn't change. If anything, they're probably in a better spot than where they were. So, we have to be aware of that. But we've got to get our own house in order.
Obviously, they've suffered their first defeat of the season against Featherstone last weekend. So Alan Coleman's side, they'll be looking to rectify obviously what went wrong in that game.
Yeah, and very, very competitive, highly competitive, and maybe an element of being a bit unlucky in that game. I thought they were really strong, and obviously going up against a quality team like Featherstone as well. So that just shows you the quality that they've got. It's never easy going to Featherstone, and I thought they were in that game for large periods as well and looked threatening throughout. So yeah, again, a tough one for us, but one that we want to go and respond in.
And just finally, Eamon, what's the message to the team, to the players this week? Because I know last week you said you didn't want it to be the second time this season that you've won 3 in a row and then suffered a defeat. Is it all about putting the wrongs right and showing a reaction to that defeat that you got?
Yeah, it is. Well, the big one I said to them was, when we were winning, we stuck together and we enjoyed each other's company. And I think the top teams, the best teams, go at that even harder when they've lost a game. They really stick together, and I'm confident that the team will do that. That's what's more important. I think learning the lesson in terms of sticking to what we practice is a big one, and using it as a learning curve. We can't kick stones now with our heads down and let it derail us in anything. We've lost a game. We've got to have respect for the competition and know that will happen. It's the manner of the defeat that hurts. So we have to go and put that right, and we've got an opportunity to do it Sunday.